Let's bring in Aki Peritz now, former CIA counterterrorism analyst. Aki, it sounds as if this is a larger group than was first suspected. After all, you have one who died, one who was critically injured in the house explosion, which happened yesterday. They now believe that the explosive devices inside that home are related to this attack. Two other suspects arrested. Apparently, the van driver, according to the police, is not yet in custody. There's a lot here.
There's a lot going on. I mean, obviously, when something like this happens, you automatically think maybe it's an individual. It's a quote-unquote lone wolf, even though that's a terrible phrase, because it's a low-cost way to cause mass terrorists to get into a van and start running over people. But the fact that we have the explosions that happened yesterday or last night, you've got this attack, and now you've got some folks on the run. And I think what's the most important thing here is ISIS comes out and said 2 soldiers of the Islamic State. So that means that there are multiple people involved. It means that this is a much bigger attack or much bigger plot than when we first actually saw the things happening several hours ago.
And if that is the case, and there are others out there, time is clearly of the essence.
Time is clearly of the essence, absolutely. What's interesting is that we've actually, according to the police, we've actually have folks in custody, and these people can talk. If you actually notice that, let's say, if you look at the attacks in France over the last 2.5 years, a lot of these people meet a sticky end when it comes to talking to the police. But here it appears that there are folks who are alive, in custody, willing to probably, hopefully, talk to the authorities, and then you can start unraveling the plot, whether it's something homegrown in Barcelona, in Spain, in Europe, or elsewhere in Iraq, Syria, or in Turkey.
The matter of building explosive devices is a complicated one. From reading on ISIS and our investigative teams that study ISIS, the bomb makers are some of the most important people within the organization. That said, apparently one bomb maker, or at least someone who was in that house, is gone, and you wonder if there's anything to follow on this.
Well, every time there's a bomb maker, and every time there's a bomb, it leaves forensic evidence for authorities to sort of figure out. It actually is quite difficult, or not difficult, but it is not easy to create a bomb. They have a tendency to go off unexpectedly. And so the fact that you have information, you have people in custody, you have forensics evidence at these apartments, you have the van. The fact that we don't have the driver is a difficult one. He's probably now the most hunted man in Europe. But all these pieces of evidence can lead to something, whether that something or someone or someone's is out there. And if they are certainly out there, either in sort of the ISIS-controlled territories in Iraq or Syria, we can use that intelligence to sort of better target them in country. And if these are folks in Europe, in Spain or elsewhere, we can actually go in there and grab them as well. So I think that there's enough evidence to start building a case against these folks.
I know that our CIA and others work very well with Great Britain, with France and others. How's the cooperation with Spain?
Well, it's actually quite good. It's not as good as it is with other countries, the English language, English-speaking peoples, whether it's the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. But it's pretty good, especially when fighting terrorists. Terrorists, these folks who are inspired by ISIS or who have actually gone to Syria and then come back to do who knows what they're about to do, is probably the most difficult thing that the intelligence services of all these countries are dealing with over the next 2 or 3 generations. As these people who are in their 20s and 30s come back to their countries, a lot of them will go back to their regular lives, but a certain slice of them are going to commit jihad in their societies. And that is something that the intelligence services, the police, not only in Spain, France, Germany, elsewhere, have to deal with, but it's also something that the United States has to monitor for the next 30, 40 years.
Aki Peritz, live with us, former CIA counterterrorism analyst. Appreciate your time very much.